Hello, and welcome to Taylor's Rabbit Food Reviews. Today I am actually making the first vegan recipe that I've ever made and the first vegan cookbook that I've ever got, that I got for my birthday one year, Veganomicon. So this recipe was a big deal because it's practically the recipe that made me go vegan, because I made this a few months before I made that change, and then I realized how normal vegan cooking could be and actually how much better it is. So today I'm making the chocolate chip walnut cookies. And the first thing you do is preheat the oven to 350, which I've already started. And then you kind of make a wet mix and dry mix like you usually do. So the first thing you do, mix together flour, cocoa, and baking soda. So 2 cups all-purpose flour. Most of these ingredients I actually already had because I make pancakes pretty often. So a lot of the same ingredients that I make pancakes with. So we'll do a little more. This actually probably doesn't have to be that exact, but it bugs me sometimes not to be. So there you go, 2 cups, and then 1/3 cup unsweetened Dutch processed cocoa. So this is something new that I had to buy, and I think it was $6. So the new stuff that I had to buy today was the chips, the cocoa powder, almond milk, which I use all the time anyways, the vanilla, and the walnuts, which I can use the walnuts in oatmeal anyways too. So for me, it was kind of an expense anyways. But this was $6. And cocoa powder, it says Dutch processed cocoa powder, and I realized once I got to Whole Foods, I was asking them where it was, and they said even though this isn't labeled as Dutch processed, it is processed with alkali to make it less acidic. So that's all Dutch processed means, is that it's given something in there to make it less acidic. So 2/3 cup. Yeah, I think the first time I made this, I went running around everywhere looking for that Dutch processed. And as long as it says it has alkali, processed with alkali, then it is Dutch processed. All right, 2/3 cups cocoa powder. So in large bowls, sift together flour, cocoa powder, baking soda, and salt. So 1 teaspoon baking soda. I'm going to give it an exact teaspoon. Right here. So that's pretty much your dry mix. As with most baking, you have your dry mix and your wet mix. These are really a good recipe to give the non-vegans. You give it to them first and you're like, yeah, that was vegan. And they're like, what? Actually, sort of what happened to me. So I'm preheated to 350. All right, there you go. All right, and then, oh yeah, and salt. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt. That one I will just estimate. I always use like nicer sea salt. 1/2 teaspoon in all this is really not that much, because this recipe makes a lot of cookies actually. Plenty to eat yourself and plenty to give away to non-vegans to convert them. Alright, so in a separate bowl, mix together the oil and sugar, add the flax seeds, soy milk, and vanilla, and mix well. Oh, I don't have enough canola oil, so I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use olive oil. I don't think there's that big of a difference. So that's a change I'm making. I'm using olive oil. I think it's just a matter of how strong the taste is. So it shouldn't be that big of a deal. A little bit more than half. Alright, so 2/3 cup canola oil and then 1.5 cups of sugar. Oh, it's so much sugar. So that's 1 cup and 1.5 cups. It's a ton of sugar. All right. Add the flax seeds. It says soy milk and vanilla and mix well. So 4 teaspoons of flax seeds. I've got this pre-chopped up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It says half a cup of soy milk. This cookbook was made before almond milk took over. So don't use soy milk, use almond milk or whatever you really like that's better. Most people don't like soy milk as much as almond or whatever. Use the one that you like. Doesn't have to be soy. So 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. So this was the most expensive thing. And I always try to get actual pure, not the flavoring or whatever the like less pure is. And actually I usually only get it if I don't have anything else to buy for the recipe. Because the cheapest one they had was this Beyond Good kind. And it was $9, so it was so much. But I wanted to have all the ingredients for this one. And it makes it a little bit better. So 2 teaspoons pure vanilla extract. 1, 2. Well, excuse me, I don't have all the ingredients. I left out the almond extract. I've never bought that because I think that's really expensive. All right, so then you mix these. All right, and then you mix it together. It says fold it in batches. You know, it all needs to get mixed together. That's the point. I'll put in a little bit, mix it up. And this starts to look really good. I remember my mom used to have one of those batter mixers, and I used to lick the mixer. I haven't seen one of those in a while. It's really dark. it kind of looks good enough just to eat it as is, I think. It looks really good and it's really thick. Try to scrape out the last little bit. All right, so when it starts to get too stiff to mix with a fork, it says to use your hands. I'm trying to avoid that right now. Add the chocolate chips and walnuts and then mix with your hands again. Your hands will get covered in chocolate, but worse things have happened. I'm really trying to avoid using my hands, but it says 3/4 cup of vegan chocolate chips. Alright, so I did have to buy chocolate chips this time, but I'll make this a few times for sure. This was $4. And then if you want to leave out the walnuts, which I actually do sometimes, because I just want chocolate chip cookies sometimes, that's about enough to make 2 batches. Then, you know, you can add a little bit more chocolate chips. These are pretty small chocolate chips. Right. There you go. Get out the last little bits. And if you're watching this and you're not yet vegan, you will be after you eat these. So if you're not ready to make the plunge, don't make this yet. All right, so now I have to add in the walnuts. 3/4 cup walnuts. Of course, that depends on how much they're crunched up. I'm just gonna guess on this. Do like a couple of handfuls and kind of crunch them up a little bit before I put them in there. And even if you don't like walnuts, it kind of gives a nice little color to it. All right. So mix all those up. I guess I'm gonna have to get my hands dirty once I make them into cookies. Oh well. Maybe could have used a few more walnuts. But that's okay. Each cookie will be a little different. I've got a lot of chips falling around in there. All right. It's great. They're really the cookies that will make everybody love you. It's just how it is. All right, wash your hands and line 2 baking sheets with baking parchment. Roll the dough into 1-inch balls and flatten into discs about 1.5 inches in diameter. Place about 1 inch apart on the lined cookie sheets. Bake for 10 minutes. Remove from the oven and let cool for about 5 minutes. All right, so many recipes ask me to use parchment paper, and I just don't ever want to buy it. I just don't. I don't see the point of it. I'm using cooking spray, and it always works fine. So there you go. And this is pretty non-stick, but I'm going to spray this anyways. It's good to have multiple cooking sheets, but I only have one kind of old one, and this makes a lot of cookies, so we're gonna try a pizza pan, which is a little different. It's got like the holes in it, but we're gonna see how that works. Remember the first time I made these, I was living with my roommates. We never got along, but one of the few times we got along was when I made these cookies. So I stayed up real late cooking them all. I didn't know how long it was going to take, and it made way more than I expected. And so the whole apartment just smelled like chocolate chip cookies. So I've always felt like they were just a good omen to make. They make everything better, and they make everyone vegan, which makes everything better too. I just watched the documentary Seaspiracy, and it always amazes me how many different things that what we eat is connected to, and how many things going vegan helps. It's always all this encouragement just to stay with it. I'm surprised so many people start and stop, or how many people haven't done it already. It just baffles my mind. Because once you do it, it just seems so obvious. Alright, I'm mixing up with my hands. I guess I have to. I gotta get all those little chocolate chips. No, this one doesn't have any walnuts. I could try doing some bigger ones too. You have to mix it with your hands. You just have to. You can't, there's no way getting out of it. You have to touch food when you're cooking. It's just how it is. If you go to a restaurant and you think that those cooks don't touch your food, if it bothers you, do not go eating out anymore. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this one in, and then I'm going to start on the pizza one. Alright, so 10 minutes. There you go. Now, I don't know how the holes under that will affect it. That might change things. I'm not sure. I think these are going to have more chocolate chips on them because I'm picking them all up at the end. That one may not hold together well. Yeah, some of these are going to be like all chocolate chip. And I've got to make them bigger so I can have plenty of dough to keep it all together. One of the reasons why I haven't made these in so long, because I got hooked on these chocolate cookies, which are really the only cookies that I really care about. If I start doing more of these videos, I will probably have to I'll probably have to experiment with more stuff, which is one of the reasons why I want to do these videos. It's going to push me to make more interesting stuff. But Whole Foods has had these vegan chocolate cookies for so long, and I got hooked on those. And just about 2 or 3 weeks ago, they canceled them. They've got like brownies now, but I don't care about the brownies. I always wanted that chocolate chip cookie from Whole Foods. I swear this Amazon buyout is like the worst thing ever. So anyways, I guess it's getting me back to cooking these cookies again, so whatever. These are going to be really even better, so it's okay. I spent too much money on those things. Oh man, I'm running out of room. I really want to fit the rest of them on this. I'm losing chocolate chips. Just how it is. They're not all gonna make it in here. Should have mixed it with my hands to begin with. But you know, these are really small chocolate chips. That's the thing about these recipes. It says 3/4 cup. I did 3/4 of a cup of these like really tiny chocolate chips, so it's probably getting more than it was ever supposed to. Alright, now this last one is hardly even a cookie. It's going to be a very tiny cookie. Alright. Cooks at restaurants probably lick their fingers too. I've got 5 more minutes on the first batch. All right. Oof. Got our first batch. They look incredible. They smell even better. I'll leave them there. And then now we're seeing what happens with this pizza pan. Should be fine. There we go. Put on another 10 minutes. And you really do, it's so tempting to just go ahead and like pick one up or go ahead and like transfer them to a plate. But you gotta let them sit because they're still really cooking right now. They're still really, really hot, and they're just so soft. So don't touch them or they'll crumble apart. They will taste good, but they will crumble apart. There's nothing in the world like a warm cookie. But I'm going to give it the 5 minutes. Okay, it's been exactly 5 minutes. So yeah, they're a little bit hard. And they come right up. I don't even really need the spatula. You don't need parchment paper. I guess maybe it's healthier so you don't have to use as much oil, but these are cookies with 2/3 a cup of oil, so that couldn't be it. I'm not sure why they always use parchment paper. It's just more like stuff to throw away. So I don't really like it. Every once in a while there's a recipe that kind of has to have it. Alright. And you have to eat one as soon as possible. So I've got 4 more minutes for my next batch. I'm eating this. And it's incredible. Yes, these cookies are absolutely something special. And they're really better for the walnuts. The walnuts aren't really a strong taste. It's actually a less strong taste than the chocolate chips and stuff. It's more for a crunch. And if anything, maybe kind of a break from all those other strong tastes. So yeah, I would say better with the walnuts. Although this one only had like 1 walnut in it. I should have poured some almond milk. Oh well. Alright. That went by pretty fast. Oof. Let's see how these turned out. Yeah, these are a little bigger. I've got to let them sit for 5 minutes. So, not touching them. Not for 5 more minutes. Not till 6:47. She's got some other varieties or variations that you can do. I've never tried them, but maybe I will. Just to do the same recipe and do like a little variation on it. She's got white chocolate chip cherry chocolate cookies, also orange chocolate chip cookies. So that's kind of weird. You just add finely grated orange zest to the liquid ingredients. I don't know. Also chocolate hazelnut cookies. So no chocolate chips, and you use hazelnut liquor instead of soy milk, and instead of walnuts you use hazelnuts. I don't eat a whole lot of hazelnuts, but I could try that. I think the cherry one is probably the first one that I'll try. We'll see. I'll do another video where I just try, I'll make a ton of cookies and I'll just try all three. We'll see. I run out of patience waiting on these. Hasn't been 5 minutes yet. These are stuck together. I'm gonna push that one apart. Pretty squishy. Yeah, see, I'm not waiting 5 minutes. It's falling apart. Too late now. I gotta wait. Push that one out of the way though. We got 2 more minutes. Even with 2 minutes, I broke it up. It's too late now though. I gotta stop touching it. The pizza pan didn't seem to make a whole lot of difference. These are bigger too, so that's why they're probably falling apart a little easier as well. But the little holes, if anything, it probably just gets more heat to them, even more. But not as much to make a difference. So they're bigger cookies with a little bit more heat. It might have evened it out. Don't know. I've got 1 minute. I've already messed with this one, so nothing happened with that one. All right, I'm at exactly 5 minutes. Going for the one in the center. These are still pretty soft. Like I said, they're bigger. Some of these didn't get any walnuts. Although it's kind of fun to see how they're all a little bit different. The walnuts really change each one a whole lot. And it's gives it such a bright color. Yeah, these are a lot softer. These are kind of more fragile. I do need the spatula for these. We've got a little hole right there. I can't put anything there or it's all going to come crumbling in. I've got to patch it up. Ooh, that one's so soft. All right, there you go. So yeah, this recipe makes like a whole mountain of the most delicious vegan converters that exist. So try these out. Mine turned out great. Tell me what your favorite cookies are. What do you think I could make? What is your experience making these? And subscribe, like, comment below. Have fun. See you next time. Thanks.